So, on to part two of my review of the new NOSFERATU. So, basically, Hotter's wife carries around this dark secret that she has basically been having erotic trysts with this rotting, decomposing demon creature called NOSFERATU. There's a hint that she may have actually have been getting up to a bit of no good with actual human male corpses. But yeah, in other words, in this scene, she basically confesses to keep things short. She confesses to basically to being a necrophile. Now, in most cases, I think a husband finding out this about, his sweet, beloved new bride would probably say something more, react more along the lines of, ugh, you sicko, and then go and get a divorce pronto. But no, he gets jealous and demands to have sex with her in order to try and prove that he's somehow better. Now, anyone who's seen the original film will know how it ends, and I'm not going to go into how it ends. But yeah, so here I just wanted to meditate a little bit on this whole game changer within the film, because it was one of those things where, I'm cool with horror. I love horror. To me, horror is not really horrifying. It doesn't scare me. I just find it exciting and thrilling. It's almost like a thriller. Whereas this, I just felt a bit revolted by. I mean, it was one of those things where you watch it and you're like, what on earth am I watching? You know. So yeah, this does seem to open up a lot of talk about, I suppose. I suppose you could think about, the sort of the aristocratic classes, the idea of seeming normality on the outside, and then when you dig a little bit further beyond that, you start to notice dark secrets hanging around inside. Things that are actually a lot less, you know, functioning, I suppose would be the term. Yeah, things are a lot more dysfunctional going on underneath there. Pardon me, it's the winter. I'm nursing a throat cold. Um, I know that. I suppose I can see what it's getting to there, but yeah, it's somehow I just found the whole thing very jarring. I mean, the original Dracula stories, especially once Hammer Horror came along, uh, they introduced the idea of a tall, dark, dashing stranger, kind of man who's sort of dangerous to know, but has the power to make women go weak at the knees, and I think a lot of those on-screen vampires from Christopher Lee onwards often did make a lot of female cinema goers do that. He became like the ultimate sort of gothic sex symbol, really. Dracula did. The same, however, it's almost like they've tried to do the same thing for Nosferatu. And, well, in every other way, it's a brilliant film. It's got nearly everything else going for it. It's got brilliant visuals, fantastic score, brilliant evocation of atmosphere, brilliant attention to period detail, which I think is very important in new horror adaptations, especially when they're gothic. But you can't really make Nosferatu, aka Count Orlok, into a sex symbol. You know, the whole point of that particular vampire, and he was based on a real belief in a demon creature. I think it was called something like Nosferatu. But these original pre-Dracula vampires, which belonged in actual German and Eastern European and Slavic mythology, is that they did not look attractive or pretty. They were rotting, corpulescent, undead creatures who were hideous to look upon, stank to high heaven, and were utterly malignant. And the only way to kill them was staking them through the heart or setting them on fire. And that is the problem with trying to make Nosferatu into a sex symbol. You just can't. So some bright spark in the production team had a light bulb moment and went, I got it. We'll just turn Mrs. Hutter into a necrophile who is turned on by decomposing, reanimated male corpses. Of course. Congratulations. So basically, they've taken Murnau's version of a sordid pervert from teenagehood, and that's an interesting twist. So, yeah, as I said, in many ways, it's a brilliant film. I give it 10 out of 10 for most things. But in terms of that particular plot pivot, I wouldn't say that kind of thing is really my kind of thing. But I don't know. Maybe you're someone who has a bit of a taste for unsavory things like necrophile films. You know, of course, there's no actual real necrophilia here, but it's definitely on that subject like matter. So, Happy New Year, everybody. See you later in 2025.